Hello and welcome. I'm in the process of setting up a small-scale microgreen business, and I hopefully want to guide you through all the obstacles that I face along the way. So in the first of 5 videos, I'm going to be discussing what light and what light duration we're going to use. In the second video, we'll be testing some different types of growing mediums. In the third video, we'll be experimenting with different types of seeds. In the fourth video, we'll be testing out environmentally friendly packaging and legislation. And in the fifth video, we'll be going through sales and marketing. The IKEA Vaxer uses 4.8 kilowatt of electricity if used for 16 hours a day for a month. So the average price of electricity per kilowatt is 15 pence in the UK. So 4.8 kilowatt times 15 pence is 72p. If we've got 10 lights and we use these 12 months of the year, that's going to be 86.40 per annum for 16 hours. So if we only use the lights for 12 hours, we can reduce the cost to 64.80 and 43.20 for 8 hours. In my first experiment, we'll be growing some black sunflower, some Surge AP shoots and some Rambo radish under 16, 12 and 8 hours of light. So what I'm going to use is a gravel tray and then a seed tray, and I'm going to use 3 of the IKEA 4s, and then I'm going to measure out the peas, and I've got it down to 25 grams. It's a fairly even distribution for the peas, and for the sunflowers just 15 grams. And again, fairly even distribution, and at a later stage this will really be vital for costings. I'm going to pre-soak the sunflower seeds for approximately 24 hours. So I've measured out 45 grams, so into my glass jar, fill it up with water, and I'm going to rinse this out a couple of times just to get rid of any residue. For the peas, I've got 75 grams, and I'm also going to pre-soak these, but just for about 12 hours. And I'll probably rinse that water a couple of times just to clear out any debris. So I've drained most of the water out of the peas. I'm just going to reweigh these to see how much weight they've gained. It's quite shocking that it's nearly 182 grams. So approximately going to divide that into 3 lots of 60. So we'll also reweigh the sunflower seeds and divide those by 3. I know how tricky these are going to be to get out. So a helping hand from a spatula. And we're looking at about 75, 76. So I'll get the exact measurement in a moment. For the radish, I've gone for 12 grams. And I'm going to call it 12.5. because that will come in useful later for calculations, but it gives a nice fairly even distribution once I've given those a good shuffle round and spread out a little. And I can always add more or take away later, but the calculations are important at this stage. I'm going to be using some relatively cheap peat-free multi-purpose compost in this video, but I will be covering other growing nutrients in the second video. So I'm going to be using a gravel tray which has got no holes in it, and then a seed tray which does have holes in it. Put in my 3 floors, and I will cover these with compost. They're about 1 centimetre deep, so I might have to break this up. And I'll give this a good soaking. So I'll even this out, give it a good soaking. So I'm going to add my unsoaked 12 grams of radish, and I'll sprinkle this all over as best as possible, and I'll jiggle this a little bit off camera too, just so it's a bit more even. 26 grams of sunflower seeds. Again, probably thin this out properly. And my 60 grams of peas. And I'll give these a quick mist down. And then I'm going to cover with another gravel tray. I'm not going to weight this one, and for reasons. In some of my early videos, I did grow microgreens from seed directly under the lights. But why waste 5 days worth of electric when you can just cover them for 4 to 5 days instead and save on the electricity bill? After day 1, the peas are doing notably the best, with some shoots forming already. So all that was required today was a fresh mist. I did check this morning, and as they grow I shall add more water. It's day 2 and all of the peas have started to germinate now, and you can see those lovely shoots. Sunflower is joining the party too, and slowly the radish is forming shoots also. So all that's required today is a heavy shower. A bit more of the mist. I'm going to give them a good soak because they're reacting quite well. And then we'll come back tomorrow to see how they fare. It's day 3 and the peas are sprouted nicely, sunflowers nicely, but the radish to me look a little crowded, so I may have to rejig my 12.5 grams. And today we're going to add some water to the bottom. So I don't know if you can just see, but the roots are coming through there. So I'm going to add some water to the bottom today. The only change. So it's day 4 and the peas have developed nice shoots, the sunflowers nice shoots, and the radish are catching up quite nicely. So just today we'll continue to bottom water because they seem to be doing quite well from this, and come back tomorrow. To stop any light at all getting to these sprouts, I've used 2 bin bags to ensure they're in total darkness. So it's day 5 and we're ready to uncover the microgreens and put them under the grow lights. So we're going to be doing now a really important lighting experiment. As most people tend to say, just put your microgreens under lights for 16 hours. So I wanted to test it out really. So as we switch on the Blackpool lights, we've got 8 hours, 12 hours and 16 hours. In the second and the most important part of this experiment, we're going to be using 3 Vaxers and our 3 trays of microgreen radish, sunflower and peas, and 3 timers to measure the difference between 16 hours, 12 hours and 8 hours of light. While some plants only need 6 hours of light, this will be an interesting experiment. Now sadly, my trays only fit on top of the IKEA Vaxer at the moment, until I can make some adjustments to this growing unit. So it's day 6 and we can start to see now the first signs of additional 8 hours, mainly in the sunflowers. There's not a lot of difference in any of the radish, even the 8 hours, but you can clearly see the difference in the sunflowers. And again the peas, not much of a difference as yet, but this is only day 1 with an additional 8 hours. It's day 7 and it's pretty even Steven for the radish at 16 and 12 hours. But you can clearly see the difference, the sunflowers. The peas, again, quite even. But you can see the difference in the 8-hour radish and the sunflowers. So it's day 8, and you can clearly see the sunflowers are really appreciating the 16 hours. The radish is pretty even all the way. But for me, the shocker is the peas, as we're starting to form tendrils after 8, still after 12, and the same after 16. So this is a real shocker after day 8. So it's day 9, and quite remarkable things are happening. You wouldn't actually tell the difference really between the peas with 16, 12 or 8 hours. So this is really going to come in useful when we do the mathematical calculations on kilowatts per hour. And I might even have to harvest the radish tomorrow, so that'll be fun. So it's day 10, and it's looking rather like the hare and the tortoise, with the 16 hours now slowing. And I'm really impressed with the 8 hours growth on the peas. But I'm definitely going to take out the radish today, but it does look like the 12 hours is the winner at the moment. But we'll take a closer look. So that's the end of the radish experiment, and I can't actually see that much difference. But there may be some distortion because of the root size, but I'd probably go with 12 hours. So what I'm going to do is give these boys a haircut and we'll weigh them in. I'll have a short back and sides please, and then we'll weigh it in. It's day 11 and the peas under the 16 hours are nearly starting to wilt. They're certainly not looking as healthy as the shocker, the 8 hours. Even the sunflowers after 8 hours seem to be pulling back, although the 12 hour is giving them a good run for their money. So it's day 12 and my 8 hour peas have really exceeded themselves, to the fact that I'm going to actually harvest them today, because the 16 hours are not looking healthy at all. So I'm not going to do them any good keeping them any longer. As for the sunflowers, we'll keep those on for one more day. Whilst I'm not overly satisfied with the pea performance, I'll give these a number 1. After 13 days, I finally come to the end of the experiment, and the 16 hours, short and dumpy. 12 hours, not too bad, but dare I say it, the 8 hours, more erect. If you've got any suggestions, just drop a comment. And what haircut do you want? I'll have a mohawk.